This Star Trek doctor's Vulcan expertise was set up by Strange New Worlds. For decades, Star Trek has balanced its humanist ideals with the alien cultures that help define the Federation. Few species have been as central as the Vulcans, who have provided both philosophical depth and some of the franchise's most compelling characters. Spock, Sarek, Topol, and others ensure that Vulcan logic, ritual, and physiology remained essential parts of the mythos. Yet, one of the more surprising developments in recent years is how Star Trek Strange New Worlds carefully positioned its own doctor, Joseph Mbenga, as an unexpected expert in Vulcan medicine. By the time audiences see him later in Star Trek, the original series, his medical confidence around Vulcans doesn't come out of nowhere. It's rooted in stories Strange New Worlds has already seeded. Dr. Mbenga's overlooked importance in the original series. Dr. Mbenga originally appeared in just 2 episodes of Star Trek, the original series, but even with limited screen time, he left an impression. Unlike Dr. McCoy, who frequently sparred with Spock about Vulcan logic, Mbenga displayed a deep familiarity with Vulcan physiology and culture. His knowledge was so specific that he could calm Spock during a medical crisis, speaking with authority that suggested years of training beyond Starfleet Academy's general education. At the time, it was a fascinating piece of world-building. The idea that a human physician might specialize in alien biology, effectively bridging the gap between species. Unfortunately, the original series never expanded on how Mbenga acquired this expertise, leaving a narrative gap for decades. That's where Strange New Worlds steps in. Strange New Worlds gives Mbenga depth. From its very first season, Strange New Worlds fleshed out Dr. Joseph Mbenga into a fully realized character, far more than his brief appearances in TOS. We learn of his personal struggles, including the lengths he went to protect his daughter, as well as his dedication to the crew. But nestled in these stories is something subtler, repeated hints that Mbenga is uniquely skilled at treating Vulcans. The show's close focus on Spock creates natural opportunities for Mbenga to demonstrate this expertise. Whether it's helping Spock after emotional strain, tending to injuries that challenge human-based medical practices, or even offering advice rooted in Vulcan philosophy, the series keeps underscoring that Mbenga isn't simply the Enterprise's physician, he's a specialist. Episodes that built his Vulcan connection. Several Strange New Worlds episodes already illustrate Mbenga's unusual insight into Vulcan matters. Spock's emotional conflicts. When Spock grapples with the clash between his Vulcan and human heritage, Mbenga approaches him with empathy but also precision, speaking to his Vulcan biology and psychology with clarity. Unlike McCoy's often combative approach, Mbenga treats Spock with a respect that suggests both cultural understanding and medical familiarity. Medical procedures beyond humans. In moments when the Enterprise deals with injuries unique to Vulcan resilience or nerve structure, Mbenga often steps in as though he has handled such issues many times before. This casual expertise subtly tells the audience, this doctor didn't just learn anatomy from a book, he's practiced it. Hints of past training. The series sprinkles in dialogue suggesting that Mbenga once worked alongside Vulcans in a more direct capacity. This unspoken backstory helps tie his TOS confidence to concrete experience, not mere classroom theory. Together, these small details accumulate, turning what might have seemed like coincidence into intentional storytelling. Why this matters for Star Trek continuity. One of Star Trek's long-standing challenges is retroactive continuity. When modern series revisit eras close to the original series, they risk contradicting details or introducing abilities characters shouldn't logically possess. What Strange New Worlds does with Mbenga is the opposite. It fills in a gap that has existed since the 1960s. Instead of forcing fans to handwave why Mbenga was suddenly the franchise's most Vulcan-savvy doctor, the show builds a history that makes sense. He's not just lucky or unusually talented. He's a man who clearly sought out Vulcan medical knowledge as part of his career. In doing so, Strange New Worlds strengthens TOS by enriching its characters retroactively. Thematic resonance. Healing between cultures. Beyond continuity, Mbenga's Vulcan expertise has thematic weight. Star Trek often champions unity across differences, and a doctor who dedicates himself to understanding a non-human species embodies that ideal. Where Dr. McCoy represents the sometimes cantankerous human spirit, M'Benga symbolizes intellectual curiosity and respect. His ability to treat Vulcans isn't just a technical skill, it's an act of trust building. In fact, his presence anticipates Star Trek's larger exploration of cultural synthesis. M'Benga embodies the Federation's